crack myself up. I still haven't found my first Blantons.
That's different. I really like that.
They're like together, like peas and carrots.
That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things.
Peychauds or Pechaud's or... This is not what I expected.
Hello. Thursday night, time to get underway. Past time to get a little underway. We're a little on the late side, but that's okay. I had a meeting earlier tonight, and it went a little long. A lot of my meetings go long these days. I don't know why. So how many of you checked your mail today? Oh, I know you may be wondering why I'm asking. Well, today was the National Day of Mourning for President Carter, Jimmy Carter, who passed away last week, a couple of weeks ago, at the age of 100. What a blessing. Kind of. I mean, on one hand, you're like, oh, yeah, I got to live to be 100. On the other hand, it's like, I had to live to be 100 before I could finally... I don't know. My grandmother lived to be 100, and she was actually in pretty good shape. She lived on her own in an apartment until she was like 99 and a half. And then she moved into the nursing home, and she turned 100, and then everything changed, and she passed away then. But this, I thought I was going to get clever with this sticker, and I'm not going to be able to get clever with it. So just get it out of the way. All right. So the reason I was asking about the Jimmy Carter thing and the mail thing is because there was no mail delivered today, because it's National Day of Mourning. So if you went out and checked your mail and you were wondering, I didn't get any mail today, that's why. They weren't doing it. So you'll get double the stuff in your mailbox tomorrow. Now you know. Fun. Where we are right now, it's 19 degrees. 19. It's cold. It's going to get, of course tonight, it's going to get even lower. And we're not supposed to get any more snow, which is nice, because I'm not going to go out tonight and shovel like I did last night. It was 10 o'clock at night, I'm out there shoveling. We didn't have a lot, but I don't want people driving on a snowy driveway, because then you can't get the snow off the driveway because it's stuck. All right, so I've got some news. You may have heard about this, or you may not have heard about this, but as you know, the current administration is leaving the administration soon. See, as of today, we're what? 8 days? I don't remember. No, it's more than that. This is only the 9th, so there's 20th, so 11 days. 11 days after today. So, but the Surgeon General, and you may have heard about this, the current Surgeon General, who will not be a Surgeon General in the next administration, is issuing, or wants to issue, an advisory, wants to slap new warning labels on your booze. Last Friday evening, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy took to CNN's Situation Room to lay out his case on the risk posed by drinking alcoholic beverages for getting certain types of cancer. He says it's the third leading preventable cause of cancer in the U.S., but according to the research I did, I call BS on that hyperbole. Here's why. If this were such an important and crucial issue, why wait until you're nearly out the door to make a fuss over something that he says the scientific community has been buzzing about for several years? I did some research, because that's what I do when I'm going to challenge somebody on something. Hey, Ross, how are you? When I'm going to challenge something, that I do the research to see. Now, according to the research that I did, I went to the Siteman Cancer Center. Lowering alcohol consumption only minimally reduces the risk of breast, stomach, and or colon cancers. So, where he's saying it's the third largest preventable cause of cancer, stopping drinking is very, very low on what you could do to stop those types of cancers. So, don't stop drinking. But like we always say, everything in moderation, right? Okay, so let's get into this. This is the 13th colony, handcrafted small batch. It's 95 proof. It's aged between 4 to 6 years. We'll get into that in a minute. MSRP around $35. Depends on where you go. Maybe a little bit more now. 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. And those grains are locally grown in Georgia wherever possible. As their demand increases, sometimes they run out. They have to get grain elsewhere. But they try to keep it local. Basically, the story behind this, in 2009, 13th Colony Distilleries opened in Americus, Georgia, becoming, I love this, opened in 2009, and already they were the oldest operating distillery since Prohibition in the state of Georgia. So it's a fantastic claim to be able to say you're the oldest by opening in 2009. But they are. Nobody else opened before them. I love that, though. Family owned. It started like a lot of distilleries do. They wanted to make booze for their friends. And then they started thinking, if we have friends, maybe we ought to make booze for friends we haven't met yet. Which is, it's kind of a nice statement. I like that. Let's see. Master distiller is Graham Arthur. He's a classically trained chef. He went to La Cordon Bleu chef school in Georgia. The bourbon he creates goes out when it's ready. And that's another thing I kind of like about this. If it's ready at 4 years, it goes out. If it's ready at 5 years, it goes out. If it's not ready till it's out till 6 years, then it's not going to go out until it's ready. And I respect that with these craft distillers. I love the bottle design. It's a little bit like the birthday bourbon or like the pot still from Willet. It looks good on the shelf, So this is one maybe I'll drink a little bit slower because I like the way it looks on the bar. Bill's watching. Hey, Bill. We're doing 13th Colony. This is their handcrafted small batch. This one is batch from 2024. I don't know that small batch, so it's going to be, a select number of barrels. They do their own distillery on their aged spirits. They source other stuff. So I'll read it what it says. They distill their aged spirits locally. They also source their specific mash bill to keep up with the growing demand. 100% of all the barrels are aged in their own warehouse. So there you go, 13th Colony. I've got some tasting notes on here, but I haven't read them yet. All I did is cut and paste. And the last thing on my paper says nose, and the notes are on the other side. So I haven't even read them yet. We're going to find out what I think about it. All right. I heard good. You know what? We've been doing the samples. I'm so pleased to get back to a decent-sized pour. I had to baby those other pours. You know me, I like to gulp. So I'm going to get back to doing everything. I'm going to get back to doing the water and the ice. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right, so 13th Colony small batch bourbon. Ooh, got a really nice nose, very caramely, vanilla-y. It's got a great citrus note to it. Yeah, me likey. That was odd. A note of chlorine. I don't think it came from the glass. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know where I got that. It kind of just showed up. It might be that citrus note. I don't know. Yeah, that caramel note is really nice. Caramel, if you have a degree. Little butterscotch on it. And there is that citrus, and then there's another fruit note too. I don't know. It's got a great... Now, let me read what somebody else wrote about the nose. And I'll try not to read anything else. Cherry, roasted nuts, caramel, got that one. Vanilla, got that one. Oak, I did not get oak. So it wasn't really very present. Light maple, grassy. I don't get grassy at all. Light maple, I can see that. Okay. That's the nose. Over the lips it goes. I'm sorry. I've been silly like for the last couple days. We get a place in town called the Cube. It's where they do ice skating and hockey games, and there's all sorts of different types of things. But it's mainly ice skating and hockey games, but they do other things too. They'll do like multimedia shows. They'll do fundraising shows like Whitetails Unlimited, things like that. And I was driving past there yesterday, and I saw the Cube, and I was like, Cubey-dooby-doo. Just like I said, I just been in a silly mood. I don't understand it myself, but it is what it is. Okay, sorry. I should not have even brought that up, but it is what it is. Okay. That's got a nice bloom. That's got some bite. It's only 95 proof, and I've been going back to my old Overholt, 114 proof. It's my go-to. It's my daily driver. But this one at only 95 has got a nice sting to it. It doesn't bloom so much. It doesn't move around on the tongue. It just kind of, it's there, and then it's like sting, and then it just sits there. So. But it's a nice sit there. It makes itself known. So for 95 proof, on the back end of it, as it goes down the gullet, it doesn't bite as much as it does on the palate. Let's get back into it. David's watching. Hey, David. Hey, how you doing? 13th Colony. If you've never had it, we'll have to make sure that you get some of this. It's out of Georgia. Locally grown grains. Get back into it here. Okay. It sits right there on that precipice of any younger and it would be thin. It's got a nice silk to it. It's silky. Mouth feels great. I would love to have this be just slightly more viscous, just slightly. But I'm not going to tell you it's thin, because it isn't. But it sits right on that edge of being, so I'm worried that when I put water on it, it'll thin out. Now, most of the time when you put water on it, it tends to improve the mouthfeel. So maybe I shouldn't worry so much. But it's right on that edge. No, it's got a nice silky mouthfeel to it. Rather tasty, actually. Let's see if I can pull out some flavor notes for you. A lot of your typical notes, really, honestly. It's good. Where I'm getting the oak is on the palate. Really, really nice oak on the palate. Not too much, not too little. Very nice presence. I do get some nice vanillas there. There's a really nice cinnamon there. Nothing is too much. There's not too much of anything. It's really well balanced as far as your palate goes. Decent, again, just silky mouthfeel, decent sting on the tongue, and really well balanced flavors. I'm not getting a whole lot of caramel on the palate like I was. A little bit more of a just typical flavors. Your cinnamons and your vanillas and some of those. Ross is talking. Is it readily available in the area? No. 13th Colony, as far as I am aware, is not available in Ohio. Now, I could be wrong about that. And the best way to find out is to go to ohlq.com and then type in 13th Colony, and 13th is 13th. It's not written out 13th, it's 13th, 13th Colony. I found this in Kentucky. It may be, they have a place on the website, the 13th Colony website, that tells you where it's available. But if you want to know if it's in Ohio, go to ohlq.com and then type in 13th 13th Colony and see if you find it. I don't think it's in Ohio, but it should be. Really, it ought to be. This is a nice bottle. It's got a really nice flavor to it. The finish is long, not just the ethanol side of things, but the flavor side of things. And that finish, I'm getting a little raisins on the finish, on this long finish, but a lot of the stuff just holds on. Those caramels, those vanillas, those cinnamons, they're just holding on long. It's a long finish. And I really like that because in theory, that would allow you to drink less of it for a longer amount of time, right? So potentially this glass, since I'm still tasting the bourbon, I don't have this urge to have another sip of it just yet because I'm still tasting it. Even now, I'm still tasting it. So it could sit next to you for maybe an hour and you still haven't finished this glass. It's a long-lasting flavor. Now let me get into the notes that I copied and pasted. The palate, they say sweet corn, vanilla, got that. Caramel, got that. Brown sugar. Maybe. I think I might have said honey. Probably more brown sugar than honey, to be fair. That's a fair note. They say faint anise and pecan. Do not get pecan. Pecan is one of those things that is just a dirty nut. It tastes dirty, and I don't get that out of this at all. Maybe a hazelnut, not pecan. Nope. Trent's watching. Hey, Trent. How are you, sir? And then their finish, they say pecan, which I'm going to completely disagree with. Brown sugar, yes, I can see. The oak, yes, I can see. Spice, I can see. Yeah, with the rye content, 21% rye. Now we're getting into that high rye territory again. And that's where I like to sit. I like those higher ryes. My metric on that is anything over 18% is what I would consider a high rye. 18% and low, 18% and less would be getting into your normal lengths and then lower ryes. But for me, 21%, you're starting to get a little higher rye. But again, that's where my palate sits. I like a higher rye bourbon. Not a lot of people do. The sting on the tongue could be coming from those higher rye contents. Because the 95 proof isn't going to be enough to make it sting, but the rye, considering it's a higher rye, possibly could. 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. It's a nice pour. Let's put a little more in here. So nice to be able to put more in there. We've been doing the samples from Santa, and there's not a lot in those. Some of them were like, there's small little sample bottles, which that size right there, and something like this one, they're not even filled all the way up. So, you're lucky to get a full pour out of that, like an ounce pour. I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for the samples that were sent to me, especially that Eagle Rare 17. Good night. Maybe next week we'll do the best pours. I don't know. I haven't gone through the database. I didn't have time tonight. I'm already late. Boop, boop. We're going to do 2 drops. Come on, drop off of that. Really? Did I just not put enough in? Come on. Be like that. Jeez, alrighty. Okay. We were talking about the ice. I had a friend of mine text me earlier this week, said that he had finally gotten an ice mold, and he said I was his inspiration. Thank you for inspiring me to get it. He got his from Wintersmiths, Again, the Wintersmiths is a great thing. It's just a little bit more of a learning curve than the one I normally use. Wintersmiths does have one that you can put 4 of them in, 2 of them in, and those are great. I love those. The big one called the Phantom that I got, I don't know. I think there's a way to streamline it. You got to use too much water, and once you've used it, yeah, you're getting multiple ice spheres out of it, but it takes forever to thaw the thing out. And it's metal, so you can't put it in the microwave. Anyway. All right, with a little bit of water on it. Wow, that opened up really nicely. Chew. Improved the mouthfeel by far. It was just on that edge of thin before. Now I get a really nice, viscous mouthfeel. Really nice. The bloom stuck around. It didn't go away when I added just 2 drops of water to it. Just 2 drops. That's all I added. The flavors popped. Really, really nice. That oak is definitely present. Getting some orange peel in there. On top of those other notes, the vanilla and the cinnamon. Yeah. I'm still not getting pecan. I think there was more brown sugar on it neat than it is on with water. But I'll test that theory just a second. Still there, but it's more minute. What I'm getting more with water on it is more of that rice spice. That's really popping, and I think maybe that's why I like it with just a couple drops of water more than I liked it neat. It just elevated it. Just elevated it. Just picked it up and went, here you go. This is the way this is supposed to taste. And again, it's rare that I like it with water better than I like it without, but this one, the 13th Colony, I like this with a couple drops of water, and it really opened it up nicely. Very, very nice. Okay. Set this aside. Get out the old pretty glass. And a gorgeous ice sphere. Now, this thing, you know that I've been doing the samples since like the beginning of December. And here we are into the second week of January. So it's been a while that I made these ice spheres and stopped using them. Well, look at this. Look at this. I left it inside the mold and it's still gorgeous. It's a gorgeous ice sphere. It's been a few weeks since I've been able to say that. Hey, Mike is with us. Coachella Valley Mike. How are you? I'm glad you're checking in. Welcome, welcome. Hey, wildfires in California. Is that close to you? Because, dude, I saw a video today of this guy, and there's like 2 people in this home. And I guess... I mean, the fire was like right there in their backyard. And you could see where somebody overhead is dumping water on the fire because the flames like extinguish. Excuse me, and then there's a bunch of smoke. And then you could finally see through the smoke and there's like sunshine hitting the mountains or something like that. It was nuts. But I'm thinking to myself, why are you in that house? It's right there on your back porch. They're talking about all the, I guess there's plastic stuff or something out there that it was melting on their back porch. It was gone. And I'm like, why are you there? You're supposed to evacuate. I understand that because of the Santa Ana winds being like 80 miles an hour, you can run as fast as you can and that fire will still outrun you. So I'm curious, Mike, how you're doing out there. You're 2 hours east of it. Sad, sad time in California. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. We're praying for California. So far, several thousand houses have been lost. And this is in a very densely populated area. You're talking Malibu, the Pacific Palisades, L.A. And Malibu is gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. My favorite restaurant, I think, will be safe because it sits across the PCH right there on the beach. It's Gladstone's. Mike, you're probably aware of it. It's one of my top 5 restaurants in the nation. I'm Hoping and praying it's okay. I went there in 2019. I had a great meal. It was just a great, great place. Gladstone's. Yes, free advertisement for Gladstone's. In Malibu, off the PCH, the Pacific Coast Highway. Beautiful, beautiful place. Great view. Maybe a toast to the good people of SoCal would be appropriate. Let's do it. I still got a little in this glass. Let's do it. Southern California, we're with you. Cheers. Beautiful area. It's a real shame. It's just sad. All right, so let's put a little of this in here with the gorgeous ice sphere. There's always something going on in California, Mike. Something I can comment on, and it's not a state where you go to be bored. Earthquakes and mudslides and wildfires notwithstanding, there's always something going on in California. Some of it's good, some of it isn't. Depending on where you get your news, some of it's good, some of it isn't. I think that if I were in LA in the Pacific Palisades in the Malibu area, I'd be holding people's feet to the fire, if you'll pardon my expression. I didn't mean to be punny about that. But, you know, they're dumping millions of gallons of water into the ocean rather than into the reservoirs. They don't have water to put out the fire. And the reservoirs that they allocated money towards 10 years ago have still never been built. They moved that money from the fund to build the reservoirs to something else. That's not why the voters gave you the money. Put out the fires. But they're getting help. I guess Canada's sending help. And that's the other thing. They sent some of their fire trucks and stuff to the Ukraine. Okay. You get wildfires every year in the Santa Ana winds, and you send your stuff, and you come on. Anyway, Canada's helping, and I guess other like neighboring states are helping, and that's great. That's great. California needs the help, and they're in our prayers. So, I'm missing. Beautiful. Thank you. Hey, my pleasure, Michael. You're a valued guest here on Beautiful Bourbon, and I'm glad you're here. And I'm sorry your state is dealing with this. It's a beautiful state, and I'm sorry you're dealing with it. All right, let's get into this. Put it on ice. I didn't finger stir it, so it's not super-duper cold. But I'm going to tell you, those flavors held up. That's nice, actually. I'm going to finger stir now. I don't even know where that came from. Oh! It's a finger stir. Simmer down, Casey. For goodness sakes. All right. Okay. Really nice, actually. That oaky flavor just kind of holds up. The cinnamons are still there. The caramels are back. Really, that's, again, this is another one of those surprises where I like this one on ice. And a lot of times it just, but this one does not. This one holds up on ice. It's really actually quite good on ice. I still like it with a little water better, but on ice, it's formidable. It's pretty tasty. All right, next week, we may have a guest. She was thinking that she was coming this week, and I had to say, no. I think it's later. But she is busting at the gills to come and bring us a bourbon that she picked up. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it may change. Or we may do more than one. I don't know. But I'm going to have a guest next Thursday, and she's going to bring us something that we're going to try. It's kind of new-ish on the scene. So I'm looking forward to trying it. It's going to be fun, and it'll be nice to have a guest. And it's a girl. That's funny. That's funny. You know me, I get squishy. I have to mind my manners though, right? Yeah. All right. Cool beans. Hey, thank you for joining me for the 13th Colony Pour. Again, this is one I'm going to be gentle with because I love the bottle. This is a really nice flavor to it. I think friends will want to try this one. It's actually quite good. If you can find the 13th Colony, grab it. They have special releases occasionally. They've got a rye that now that I've tried this with the high rye, I'm dying to try. So that'll be my next 13th Colony purchase is the rye. But anyway, we'll see you next week. Again, you could be doing anything else, anywhere else, and you're here with us, and I am grateful for that. So have a great, what's left, of your week, and we will see you next Thursday for the next, I'm not going to tell you what it is, because I think I know what she's going to bring, but I'm not going to say, because I got to confirm it. Watch the Facebook page. We'll confirm it this week before she comes, just to make sure it's the right bottle. And if she comes, because if she doesn't come, then I gotta choose something else. And I've got some stuff. I picked up a great bottle just a couple days ago, which I'm so excited about. So if she doesn't come next Thursday, I'll do that. I know. Can you be any more vague, Casey? Try. All right, we'll see you next Thursday. See you then. Thank you.